This is National Native News. I'm Megan Kamrick in for Antonia Gonzalez. In Canada, Indigenous rights activists ended 197 days of protest outside the Saskatchewan Legislative building this week. The Regina Leader-Post reported the Justice for Our Stolen Children camp began last February, following not guilty verdicts for men accused in the deaths of 2 Indigenous youths. Tina Fontaine was 15 and had run away from foster care when her body was found in Winnipeg's Red River. The CBC reported Raymond Cormier was acquitted in her death. That came just 2 weeks after the acquittal of a Saskatchewan farmer in the shooting death of a young Cree man, Colton Boushie. Protesters sought meetings with government ministers to get more data on children in the foster care system and a moratorium on adoptions and expansions of foster care. 5 months after the first Native Women's Business Summit, organizers of the event announced plans for the next summit in 2019, focusing on mentoring and leadership, skills development, and creating a directory of businesses owned by Native women. More than half the 200 attendees at the summit, which was held at the Indian Pueblo Cultural Center in Albuquerque, needed startup or growth funding, organizers said, and most wanted technical assistance. A report by American Express found Native women-owned businesses generated $11 billion in revenues in 2017, and since 1997, they grew 200%, nearly twice the growth rate of non-Native women-owned businesses. In Mexico, the National Human Rights Commission says an indigenous anti-dam activist has been killed in the Pacific coast state of Nayarit. The Associated Press reported the governmental commission said Wednesday that Margarito Diaz-Gonzalez defended the historic territories of the Huichol Indians, who prefer to be known as Wiwarika. He was killed on September 8th. Local media said gunmen shot him. Diaz-Gonzalez had opposed a dam that threatened Huichol sacred areas. The rights group Global Witness says Mexico faces an increase in killings of land rights activists, with 15 such deaths in 2017 and at least 4 cases documented this year. Previous victims include Tarahumara land activist Isidro Baldenegro, who had been awarded the prestigious Goldman Environmental Prize. An independent film that showcases Native actors and explores the history of the Wounded Knee Massacre continues to screen around the country 2 years after its release. Wyoming Public Radio's Melody Edwards reports it's among the longest-running films in the last decade.
95-year-old Lakota elder David Beautiful Baldeagle stars as a character who commissions a young white man to write a book of his memories of the Wounded Knee Massacre. Scottish director Stephen Lewis Simpson has filmed several documentaries about the Lakota tribes, but he says during filming of Neither Wolf Nor Dog, he had to go off script.
At the climax, which takes place at Wounded Knee, we abandoned the script. We let Dave Baldeagle improvise the whole sequence because Dave and his own family background were even closer to the events of the Wounded Knee Massacre than even the character he was playing.
In 1890, 150 Lakota members were shot down by the U.S. Army near Wounded Knee Creek while attempting to perform the ghost dance, which the Army considered threatening.
And at the end of filming it, he says to Christopher Sweeney, who was playing opposite, "I've been holding that in for 95 years. And to me, it takes the audience into what happened in Wounded Knee in a very contemporary way. It shows about how the echoes of it are still deep-rooted today.
Baldeagle died at 97 just before the release of the film. The film is now showing in Wyoming and Utah. Simpson says if people want Neither Wolf Nor Dog to come to their community, they can put in requests through their local theaters. For National Native News, I'm Melody Edwards in Laramie.
I'm Megan Kamrick.
National Native News is produced at the Annenberg National Native Voice Studios by Quantic Broadcast Corporation. Funding is by Odawi Law Group, provider of Indian law solutions, and by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, with support from the Public Radio Satellite System.
Support by AARP. AARP creates and connects people to unique tools and programs, helps conserve personal resources, and tackles issues that matter most to individuals, families, and communities. More at aarp.org. Supported by Volunteers of America, a premier substance use treatment provider offering a White Bison certified Wellbriety program within their residential Native American treatment services. Applications and more at voanr.org.
Native Voice One, the Native American Radio Network.